AfterBuzz TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment. The AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's The Client List After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. If you'd like to buzz in on tonight's show, you can buzz us at 424-256-1729. That's 424-256-1729. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's The Client List After Show.
Oh my God.
Good evening, AfterBuzzers. We are here at the AfterBuzz TV studios doing things the way things always should be done. With Bing. I am your host for this evening, David Schifilliti.
I feel like this is going to be like a sex phone operation.
It's the song.
The song
It does.
is
It
amazing.
Makes me want to like
Take off your
dance
clothes.
dirty and
Jimmy
take off my
and shake it
clothes.
off.
Also, the fact that last night I went to a strip club. And joining me tonight, as always,
By your favorite stripper.
by my favorite stripper, Tua Kaissi. That is your last name, right?
That, it is.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
is right. And that was one time.
That was one time. I'm just kidding. Tua is not a stripper.
You're being really mean to me.
I know.
already.
And the lovely and talented
Sarah
Huggins.
I'm here,
Thank you, ladies, for joining me.
of course.
I love seeing you too. It's the highlight of my week.
Oh, that's a really nice thing to say.
You're welcome. It's my pleasure. It's the truth.
I'm mad at you.
You can't be mad at me. I am. You have a shamrock on your face, all right?
I
Hold
do.
on. Are you mad at David because you didn't think that he didn't call you a stripper?
Right. I'm not to be a stripper.
You're mad because I didn't call you a
Yeah.
stripper.
If you worked at the Rub, you would give great handies.
I would.
Yeah.
More than handy.
Sarah would be exactly like Selena.
Totally.
And what goes on in Sarah's room is Sarah's business, but we all know what goes on in Sarah's room.
Oh.
Okay, I'm just gonna put it
Sorry,
out there for
mother.
those of you who don't know.
Oh my. Oh my.
Sarah's pretty awesome.
What'd you guys think about the episode this
I love it. We're doing season 2, episode 2 of The Client List, Who's Cheating Who? Which the title kind of bothers me because I feel like it should be Who's Cheating Whom, grammatically.
Correct.
Yeah. It's like that old, what is it, that old Tina Turner song, Who's Zoomin' Who? It's like, Who's Zoomin' Who? You know, do you know do you know? Okay.
Where did that come from? You did the same thing last week.
Yeah.
They're not all song titles.
Well, that's just what it reminded me
That's where your brain goes immediately.
is.
You're like, there's this old Tina Turner song, Who's Zoomin' Who?
I think it is. Who's Zoom? It's the silliest song out there, but that's what it reminded me of.
All right, I mean,
Who's cheating who?
it's fine.
Or whom. For,
It should be whom, right? Grammatically?
Yeah.
Am I incorrect in that statement? Mom, where are you when I need you?
Call in.
Call in, Mama.
Yeah,
let us know.
424-256-1729. I'm just kidding. My mom won't call. She's probably asleep. But what'd you guys think of the episode?
I'll be honest, it wasn't my favorite.
Okay.
It wasn't my favorite.
Why?
Well, I felt like they were doing a lot of setting up
All
for
right.
things that they're going to do
It is
in
season 2.
Yeah,
I mean,
in-
episode 2.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
come on. It's season 2.
It's
Episode 2.
I felt like they were doing a lot of setting up for things that they're going to do, like it's going to get
Right.
good. And I feel like as soon as I got into it, at the very, very end is when it ended. You
Well,
know,
that was good.
But yeah, I felt like right now they're just doing setup. I felt like the tone of
Yeah.
it was just kind of like, and nothing really blew my mind this episode. What did you think about it?
I
kinda agree with
agree until the end. The end was really good to me, a little scary.
Yeah. And we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But yeah, I mean, overall, it was just kind of like a blah episode. I mean, I still love it, of course. But
Well, I mean, things are happening.
right.
I mean, Evan and Riley are official, right? We can say they're officially dating.
Right.
Right? 'Cause
Yeah.
They went on a date.
But
Yeah.
are they sleeping
cute
together?
date.
They're not, right?
No, that
I'm
was like a sleeping
confused.
together fake out. I don't think they've even
Yes, they have.
they've kissed.
They've been
definitely
kissing.
kissed. But they haven't been alone is the problem.
I'm
Right.
not feeling the
To do
chemistry between
adult
them.
things.
Is that? and this is just not
I
quite-
blew your mind with that one, adult thing.
But I'm not feeling the chemistry between them this
season, I'm not either. It's weird that
last-
you say that because last season, it was like I was like rooting for them, and I was like, yeah, it's hot. It's kind of dirty and it's hot.
I know why that is though, is because
Okay.
now it's like, okay, it was kind of like dirty and wrong that they were like together because
Yeah.
her husband was away and they weren't fully divorced.
Tell me
and-
about it.
Yeah.
Talk to me,
But
dirty.
now it's everyone kind of knows that they're dating and it's not as scandalous and there's not as much heat.
Yeah, plus, Kyle is in the picture, but he's in prison, so it doesn't really look. I mean, when you're a drug addict husband that runs away and she's left to kind of hold the, and then all of a sudden the uncle comes in and it's sweet. But when he comes back into the picture, now it's just weird. And now I just don't feel, and I also don't feel, and I told you guys that I was going to mention this, I don't trust Evan. I don't trust.
I want to know why. I'm like curious as to why you don't trust Evan.
Well, I don't.
Do you trust Kyle?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't.
I mean, because he's in jail.
Well, what I feel like they're trying to make a real distinction that like Evan is like the protagonist and Kyle is like the antagonist, and it's like the good brother and the bad brother. But
I think it's kind of flip-flopping.
Appearances can be deceiving.
exactly.
Okay.
And I think what I think is, first of all, you don't like you're posing as a good guy, but you are not sleeping with or want to sleep with. You're not continuing a relationship with your brother's wife while your brother is in jail. If you have that's not a good thing to do. That's not
I'm gonna
what
agree
a
with
good
you.
boy does.
That is not the.
I think ultimately he's a good guy though.
Things just
my
got very
call.
personal in my brain.
Yeah, it's just not what
cannot
you
discuss
do.
it.
If you're what would make him a really attractive character is if you went up to Riley and was like, you know what, we can't do it. This can't be going on.
Stop looking at me, Sarah.
I'm just wondering what that comment meant.
I know. I'll tell you later.
Okay.
I'll tell you both later. I just can't talk
my.
about it. Things got personal in my brain when
my.
you brought up the being a good guy
Yeah.
and sleeping with your brother's
Yeah.
wife.
Yeah. I mean, I think ultimately though
I have
he,
not slept with my brother's wife. I'm just gonna put that
No.
out there.
I think ultimately he is a good guy though. He has Riley's best interest at heart.
I'm gonna agree with Dua on this one.
You do?
Yep.
Oh no, that's strike two, David. Strike two.
I'm sorry, only because of what I'm thinking about in my brain and
Okay.
the situation that I know of
Okay.
is kind of the same, where someone is posing as a good guy
Right.
and really is not.
Well, now when you say that he has
Think about it.
when he has Riley's best interest at heart with the kids, I think that that's the case, and I can't tell if he's just being selfish, like sexually, and he wants to be with Riley, and he's just so frustrated with his brother. But I feel like his actions are he's doing these things that a bad guy would do, but yet he has it in this nice, like, I'm just going to be a really good, nice package, and we'll get
It
a
also
little
doesn't
bit.
hurt. I mean, have you seen Colin Egglesfield?
Yeah, yeah, that you're.
I mean, he could get away with murder.
Yeah.
I mean, you might have. He also has been living in his brother's shadow his whole life. Like, I feel like you have to have like a little bit. He has a little bit of an edge to him.
Right.
Like, he's gotten in several fights since the show began, right?
Yeah, he
Like,
has.
Not just with
he
his
does,
brother.
He does.
He has a short fuse.
He
yeah.
has a very short fuse, and he's very scrappy.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point. He has been living in his brother's shadow, and what is going to set him off, and just what's going to make
Right.
him break.
Right.
Well, I mean, just when his brother shows up,
Yeah.
even he is already willing to at that point he just shows up and he's ready to throw down.
It's
Yeah.
deep-seated sibling rivalry
Yeah.
at its best.
I wonder
is.
what
Wow.
could sort of generate more heat between them.
Between Evan and Riley?
Yeah, I wonder what's.
I think if they got naked.
You think so? I don't know though.
I mean,
think
because we haven't seen
depends on how it's done.
What do you mean?
I
mean,
don't-
we've seen Riley be pretty she's a pretty
yeah,
sexual
no,
lady. I mean, you
she's
saw
super
her in
hot.
that corset?
Yeah,
She looked great.
but when she had a sex dream about
It wasn't really a
Evan.
sex dream.
kind of was
It was like a
after sex dream.
post-sex dream.
It was like a Lifetime style sex dream.
Yeah, it was very post-coital. I mean, and to think that they're like putting a post-coital sex dream into it, and they're like, oh, we can't keep it too racy. And she works at a freaking massage parlor giving handjobs to people.
Yeah. Well, I actually, if I
Other
could,
things.
Yeah.
I would like to say something about the dream because I felt like the dream was really poignant because it shows where Riley's head is. Because in the dream, they're in bed together. She gets up, and the first person that she sees is Kyle.
Right.
In the dream.
It
And
was almost like a three-way action. I mean,
exactly.
Yeah.
Automatically, she felt what? Guilt, right?
She did. But did you also notice in that scene, she was topless?
yes.
Was she?
Yeah.
Because she's
she got
going back to Evan and she takes off her top and then he's just standing there. She's standing there, boobs out to the wind.
We couldn't see them.
I mean, we didn't see them,
right.
but it's implied.
That she's not, that she doesn't have anything. But I think right
Not
now,
that really matters, but
No.
it's just kind of an interesting fact.
the reason that there isn't any chemistry between them is because she's so riddled with guilt about Kyle. That's where her head is, and ultimately that's where her heart is.
You think?
Yes.
No.
I mean, she did say in this episode, he is my husband.
Why wouldn't she just let him rot in jail? Why would
Why
she
not
pay
get
the
divorced?
I don't know. I
Right?
don't know why she doesn't get a divorce.
Yeah. Why is she paying the $7,500 to get him out? Why
Why
doesn't
is she even
just,
looking for the $7,500? That's
Yeah.
what I don't
so
understand.
her heart is very much, but when you have kids with somebody, her heart is still there.
I mean, I don't know if her heart is still there. I think she's looking out for the kids' best interests, and the kids want their papa,
And
so she wants to be able to give them their papa,
She
even
even
if she doesn't care about him as much as she should.
She even said, though, like, in the middle of the episode about how she wasn't taking care of herself, how she wasn't putting herself first, and I think that's kind of
Evidenced by
another
her
example.
pecoritis.
Yeah. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Which is
That's
yeah.
what they called
Can
it.
you
Pecoritis.
you can't file for workers' comp when you have a cramp in your arm from giving too many.
You
handies.
can,
Is that a real thing?
but you can file for workman's comp if
Not
you
workman's
have carpal tunnel. But I mean, they're gonna be like, how'd you get carpal tunnel giving massages
Well, didn't Selena say
and
she
just
was
in
like,
one arm?
Right. Just
Yeah, that's
It's like maybe she should be switching off arms, like switching off hands.
yeah,
Yeah.
but one hand is, stronger than.
That's why you do exercises with your left hand. If you're right hand dominant, you guys don't do exercises with your left hand so that you can use it for other things.
No.
I'm left-handed, so
Do you do exercises with your right hand?
no.
Really,
think-
I do. Is that weird? Is that a weird thing? I like try to do as much as I can with my left hand so that it's
No.
not like a useless appendage.
I mean, I
Just,
would
like,
think
hanging there.
masseuses in general probably, I mean, I can't even give one massage, like, even for, like, 5 minutes without my fingers getting sore.
That's true. I never even thought about
So,
that.
I feel like both their hands would probably be,
But she's getting it in her like forearm.
So I have an odd question.
It'd be
and
really funny if like midway through this show, her like forearm just starts getting really big. Her like right forearm just
like, a
Like
lot more
Popeye?
muscular.
like hulkish.
Oh, David.
So I have a question.
Ew.
This is something that was
realistic.
referenced in the beginning
Yeah.
of the show,
Uh-huh.
and it's also something that was referenced on Desperate Housewives as well. Is it common for
What?
men to cry when they ejaculate?
Oh yes, I didn't even notice that. Okay.
Is that-
I
is
mean,
that a
I noticed that, but I forgot to mention it. That guy totally was
He
crying.
was crying.
after.
Is that a common thing?
Well, I don't know about that. I definitely don't know anyone that has ever cried, but I guess it makes sense. It's an emotional release.
And so it just I've actually cried doing yoga.
Okay, have you?
Yeah, like at the end of yoga, sometimes like my eyes will tear, and it's not even like I'm not sad or anything, but
Yeah.
So I just didn't know. If anybody wants to comment on that, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a comment on that and you can't call in now and you're listening to us on iTunes, do us all here a favor at the AfterBuzz TV studios. Tell your friends, rate, comment on this or anything else.
If you're a crier, let us know.
If you're a crier, let us know. We'll read your comments on air and we'll let you know if you leave us your Twitter handle.
Yeah, they have to be out there, but it sounds like
Yeah.
something that would be embarrassing to admit. Yes, I cry
Do
when
you think,
I
have you ever
ejaculate.
cried after sex? Sarah?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it from
But not-
regrets?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. What about you?
I've never cried after sex.
Never because it was so amazing that I was
Yeah.
just, no. Have you?
I've never had sex.
Oh my God. Okay, well, after giving yourself a handy,
I'm just
have
kidding.
you ever cried?
I'm just kidding.
I've never had sex either.
I don't think I've ever. No, I don't think so. I don't think I've ever cried.
Yeah, I feel like that's
Post-coital.
rare.
I really do feel like it's a rare thing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Was it on Desperate Housewives?
Yes.
It was. I don't know. Yes. Bree, they had a dinner party, and Bree had mentioned about Rex that he cries when he ejaculates.
Oh,
And
yes.
it made it very, very uncomfortable, and then Rex left.
I remember that.
And so I was like, this is the second time I've heard it mentioned. So I was like, maybe this is a thing that happens a lot.
Maybe it's a thing that happens with older men
That's true.
because they don't get it that often.
We should get a specialist in here.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. That's not true. Older men get it.
So there was some new.
There are some new faces at
A new
the
face.
rub. A new face. I'm sorry, there was more than one new face. If you were watching the background actors, which I do regularly.
I love that you notice like all of the scene changes, all of the
Yeah.
set design changes, what people are wearing. You do notice all of this. You have a great eye for
And
the
I
detail.
have no idea what happened on the show. But I noticed the set changed.
Yeah. Yeah,
And I noticed that they had like 5 extras walking around in the background.
Yeah, but they haven't introduced them as characters.
No, but they're there.
So, right.
So Riley's hiring new people
Right.
because she's getting pepcaritis.
Kind of a weird montage.
Such
Of
a weird
interviews.
montage. The interview scene was so bizarre to me because she was like talking, but no one was responding.
Yeah,
None of like the applicants got lines. They were just like random faces, which I thought was so bizarre.
Yeah.
She was like, "Excuse me, what?
yeah.
What did you say? Where are you from again?"
Yeah, it was,
There was no give and take.
Well, because I don't think any of them were really supposed to matter, or we weren't supposed to really, you know,
I
get
know, but then
attached to any of
don't
them
put it
until-
into a montage. scene.
Right.
I do like though that she like separated them. She was like, "Oh, God, guys like all different types of girls."
Right.
And she separated them into categories. She was like, "This
Biker
is the
chicks.
MILFs. These
Yeah.
are the biker chicks. This is the yuppie girl."
I like that as well. I think the one thing that
girl
really
next
pissed me off
door.
about the montage was the music.
What was the music?
The music it was kind of like this choppy. I couldn't repeat it right now if somebody.
I didn't even notice it.
I felt like it didn't really contribute to what they were trying to accomplish, and I really feel like in montage scenes, the music is like almost the most important thing.
It's true. It should be
You
like
know.
an upbeat, like fast
Yeah.
song so that we get that it's a montage. But I think they did something weird because they gave Riley lines.
Yeah,
And usually in a montage,
It's just
they-
like
either
music
everyone has
and-
lines or no one has lines.
yeah, and it's just like facial expression shots, and
Yeah.
there's like, oh yeah, it was a little bit something
Very
happened
bizarre.
in post there.
I mean,
Very bizarre.
so
But Nikki came in.
Nikki came in. She's a former stripper.
Mm-hmm.
She's really sweet and innocent.
Really sweet and innocent.
Very doe-eyed.
Very doe-eyed. Very green.
Yeah, very green. She's
green.
a college student.
She's a college student. Which means she's a teenager.
Yeah, so eager and willing to take off her
Well, you
clothes.
could
Not necessarily, I
she's
guess.
probably- she could be 20, 21 years old.
She's actually, okay, this is going to sound horrible, and I know our fans are going to hate me for saying this. She's not that cute,
No, I don't. I completely agree with you.
right? I feel
did
like
not
all the
find
other
her cute.
girls that have worked at the Rub have been like very pretty
Right, kinda
women.
hot.
And
Right.
hot.
Right.
This girl's kind of not that
No.
cute at all. She's kind of boring.
She seems like the young schoolgirl, like the girl next door. Like she does look very
Innocent
average.
voice.
She's not, yeah, exactly.
Right.
But I think that guys
But-
like that. It's like throw on a schoolgirl outfit on this girl, and you know, be like, tell me what to do. I've never done this before. I need to make my rent. Like, guys, eat that up.
Are you
With-
speaking from experience?
From
Look at you!
Oh my
the
God, she's like
guys-
stumbling.
We're
that
taking that as a
I-
yes. Dua likes to dress up in a squirrel girl uniform. If you're looking for a hot date, you know where to
424.
find her.
This all started with the music at the beginning of
I know,
the show.
I'm telling you, it's that
Yeah, maybe-
sassy music.
It made me feel sexier, honestly.
I know, I'm telling you.
Instantly. I
I'm
took off my
telling you.
sweater, everything.
Yeah.
You know what I found interesting about? So she hires Nikki.
Yeah.
Like immediately, and
Well, because the minute she found out she was a stripper, she was like, oh, this girl will be fine giving people hand jobs left and right.
Well, what I thought was interesting though is she did not tell her right off the bat, like, hey, look, and she just sent her. She fed her to the wolves. She gave her
Yeah,
the crier.
she tested her.
She was testing
She
her.
was testing her. I mean, how do you hire someone? I mean, she even said it in the episode. She had a conversation with Georgia, like, how do you hire someone to do that and be able to trust them?
Right.
To not tell the secret.
So she was.
It's a fine line, so she has to like test
Well, it made me think of
Well,
how
what made her
guess-
pass the test? Like, just
Well,
because she came and
she went in,
confessed?
she confessed, and she said she was tempted to,
Finish him off.
So had she not said anything, would
and just done it.
yeah, or not have done it, or had she not said anything, would Riley have hired her? And it made me think, how did Riley find out at the beginning?
Selena.
Is that how she
Yeah.
found out?
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah.
Georgia never told her at the beginning in season 1.
No, Georgia did tell her, but I think Selena also told her.
Yeah, they told her about the extras. Georgia told her about extras.
She knew about the extras
Yeah.
and stuff like that because when she first started working at the Rub, she was doing legit massages, and then she was
Right.
like, I need more money.
Right.
Huh, there you go.
And then she was like, all right, well, then you can do extras, and you can be slinging.
so Riley took a very
Wieners.
Oh, I hate that word wiener.
Well, I'm not allowed to curse anymore.
Riley took a very
So
different
you're going to get
approach
lots
then.
and lots of wieners slung at you.
Gross.
Oh my.
So she passed the test.
Well,
Yeah.
She passed
it's not
it.
really a hard test to pass.
Kind of. I mean, giving a handy to a
stranger?
is a little bit of not exactly
Well,
something everybody does every day.
She comes from a stripper background,
true.
so I think that's
There's a little bit of a difference between taking off your clothes and giving a handy.
yeah.
There is a bit of a difference, but you know what? What's
Morally,
the lesser
I
of
guess.
two evils?
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? Like, this girl needs to make money, and I mean, I don't know why she's just not stripping.
Right. Maybe.
How do you get
Actually,
fired from a strip club?
You
I'm
know,
sorry.
now that you mention that, I find that
we
interesting
might
that
find out later.
Yeah,
she had no moral objection with it whatsoever.
at all. She's a stripper.
Yeah. It was that is interesting now that you mention it, because most people at least will feel shame afterwards. You know, like there'd be some type of, there'd be something, but like, she was just just with her
Just
doe
dove
eyes.
right in.
I was gonna do it. I gotta pay my tuition.
Right, she's got
I can
bills
subtract
to pay.
quickly. Like,
She's an
Yeah.
accountant. What is she?
Yeah.
Accounting major.
Something like that.
It's such a weird thing to have this character be a stripper working at the Rub, and she's like a math genius.
yeah.
Right.
That is very odd.
Right? Like,
Yeah.
such a strange character.
So, do you think that Riley's gonna hire more people?
She's gonna have to.
Yeah, and then this is what I'm wondering: if when she hires more people, are they going to branch off like in the first season, how they branched off into little storylines with people, or
Or keep
Not.
it focused on Riley.
right?
I think for now, I think we have to focus on Riley, but I think eventually they'll probably will give us
Yeah. I
other
like
little
that.
storylines. I had a thought last week about the Rub and about the type of girls that she might hire, and I wanted to throw it out there, and I forgot to ask you guys, and I forgot to ask when Rebecca was here, what you guys thought of what if she hired a transgendered girl?
That would never happen
Why?
Because it's Texas.
because it's
There's no
Texas.
transgendered
There
people
are.
in Texas?
Yes, there are.
Of course.
Of course. But it's a little more.
Because I heard a rumor about
You
season
did?
1 that there was going to be a transgendered girl on season 1.
I think that if that happened, there would have to be a specific subplot storyline to just that.
Yeah.
I feel like they could have a client that comes in
And
that
requests
says-
it?
No, that is like transgender.
Transgendered man?
Yes, but no. I mean, I don't see them having a character like a reoccurring every week. I just don't see it.
Really?
It would be
Yeah.
it would
Just
be
because it's
interesting.
Texas?
And Lifetime. It's
I could,
Lifetime. and it's
exactly.
Texas.
It's pushing boundaries. Like I could see it on Nip Tuck. There's certain things I just don't feel like this show is ready to
They'll
touch.
do handies.
Yeah,
but
is ready to go that route yet. Because still, in a lot of ways, I find that it's taboo
Right.
in a lot of ways when you're showing something on national television, especially with the demographic.
Right, because then you have to get into whole other conversations. Like, what parts are they missing? What, you know.
Well, if it's a transgendered woman, I would assume that she would be post-op transgendered.
Well, that's a question, though.
Right, it is a question, but you don't think that it would be a valid question to be doing something like that on a national TV show? I mean, they're already making light of giving people hand jobs.
Right, but I feel like they still do that a little bit conservatively.
They do. They don't show it really.
And
they
this
do
week was the first week that they, even to my knowledge, had
hinted towards an orgasm.
pretty much a completion. Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, yes, I mean, I understand that, but they still are making light of that situation.
I think that it's interesting, and I think that if they went that route, I would like to see the show go there. I spoke to somebody yesterday who works on post-production on another show, and I was asking her how much the writers actually read online suggestions from the fans. And I'm finding out that more and more shows actually take, when they're in the writer's room, they will read a lot of what the fans have to say, and sometimes certain storylines will come off of that. So I would suggest that you write something online about that and almost be like, you know what, this is what I would like to see on the show. That could very well become a storyline because
I'm just going to tell Rebecca.
There you are.
I'm going to call her. I'll be like, Rebecca.
Your new BFF, Rebecca.
My new BFF, Rebecca.
Girl.
We need
I don't know.
I'm just kidding.
So,
I mean, I just think it would be interesting. Like, she has to hire new people. Why not throw, a different type of woman in the mix?
well, why not throw just a straight guy in the mix and bring women in there?
Yeah, I guess you could, but that's a little bit more.
Why wouldn't she hire a
intrusive.
guy at the rub? That's an interesting. Why wouldn't she appeal
man.
to exactly? Because there are a lot of homosexual men that also need.
It's true.
I
So
could
I
see
think
that
that
happening
would
way
be a-
before.
Really? Interesting.
Yeah, but that would be a baby step to get to it, like a
Right.
transgender.
Right. All right. I mean, I'm putting it out there. I think it would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed.
that's- All right, we had good cop, bad cop episode today.
I really could care less about the cops. I'm sick of seeing them.
Really?
I think it's interesting. It's like an interesting storyline to have the cops like looking into. I mean, because we have all this crap going on with Kyle and.
Yeah. But they keep kind of faking us out, like we think maybe
Right,
they're
just
getting
like-
close to Riley, like every single episode.
Do
and-
something already, or just like let them back off for a while because I'm sick of seeing their damn faces.
And every
Right.
time the doorbell rings, they're there.
Every
like,
single
"We're here
time.
again."
And they had a warrant, which we saw last week, and they're searching. And Georgia calls Riley. How she knows, I don't know. But
Well,
she
remember?
knew that
She
the cops
knows,
was
she knew.
coming.
She knew already.
But she
Because-
knew already that they were sniffing around, and that she wasn't going to be able to hold them off very long. But how did she know they were coming that day?
Well, I'm sure she just got it from the judge. That was her source to begin with, and that was
That's true, I
to,
guess.
Mr.
Louboutin.
Yeah, we didn't need to know exactly when she found out. That was actually my favorite part of the episode.
When she called her and she's like, hide it.
No, what Riley ended up doing with it.
Putting it in the armadillo?
No.
She buried it.
Yeah, she buried it.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to talk about that yet?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. She buried it on it was her mom's land, right?
Yeah, the Brixton
Brixton Ranch.
Right.
Yeah.
Which we've never heard
So
of
she
before.
buried it and the armadillo.
I don't think she buried the armadillo. I think she just brought the armadillo with her.
I don't know.
I like
Debatable.
I like that she
Debatable.
goes there at night, digs a hole right in the front. Like she doesn't even like go off to a bush. It's like right in the front where she digs a hole and then she opens it up and decides right then and there that she's going to memorize every single name in the client list.
I know. I don't know why she didn't think about that beforehand.
I feel like she knows them though. Like she
does know them, so why does she have to memorize the list?
So it was for the audience's benefit, maybe?
Yeah, I guess so. And like they talked about people we had seen last season, which was really
That's
fun.
true.
You know?
Who was the first one?
Gosh, I don't remember now. The first one, the camel.
The camel.
Yes.
I don't remember that guy.
You don't?
No.
Oh, I do.
Why did they call him the camel?
Um,
Because he was a vet or something? He was in the army? And
yes.
He gets very thirsty?
Yes, but it's
Something like
not
that.
like thirsty.
Yeah, he's
Oh
thirsty
my.
for women.
Yeah, thirsty for love.
Thirsty for ladies.
And he can last a really long time, right? Like,
Something
because
like that.
camels, I don't know.
They can go for a long time without drinking.
So I think he
they keep
goes
the
a
water
long
in their
time
back.
without...
Ejaculating? Can
Yeah.
I say that?
That's not a curse word. So yes, you can say ejaculating. And if we get an email about that word, Phil, I swear to
It's a
bejesus.
medical term.
It's a medical term just like wiener.
Gross.
No, but Georgia is the manager of Harold's Bar.
Oh, yeah. Which we
is-
met Harold.
We met Harold. He's an attractive younger
Yes.
gentleman.
Yeah. Who would have thought? I don't know
I totally
why.
did not think that.
I
I
thought
think-
it was going to be an older, white-haired gentleman.
Did you think he was going to be white? Because I totally thought he was
I
going to
did.
be white.
Totally. White-haired gentleman.
But he's
Instead,
not. He's
was
like a
this-
young black guy. It's
hot
kinda awesome.
African-American dude. Yeah.
Georgia seems like she's in her element managing this place now.
She does. I hate the name Harold's Spot. Harold's
Harold's
Bar.
Bar,
It's
yeah.
literally called a Harold's Bar, which
But
is
I
the
like-
worst name for a bar.
I like that it looks like they're gonna have live music there, which opens up a whole.
Yeah. Oh, look at you catching on that. I didn't even notice that. I just saw the uniform in the background on the girl.
Oh.
I saw like a bunch of like instruments kind of like in a corner and like a
fun.
stage-ish area.
And that gives us an opportunity to see Jennifer sing,
Perform. Yeah.
yes,
which would be great.
Ooh.
amongst others.
I mean, we all know J Love loves to sing.
We do, and we love hearing her sing.
we love hearing her sing, but we all know that she also really enjoys singing for no reason,
Right.
like having a scene in her shows
To sing.
just so she can sing.
Hey, why not?
Why not? I mean, she's the producer on the show. She can do whatever she wants. But if it doesn't make any sense, I'm gonna call her out on it.
Okay, but I like it. I mean, they could have a karaoke night every week at Harold's Bar. There's ways that they
They
could
could, yeah.
put that in.
Karaoke bar. Okay.
Oh,
Whatever.
can someone please explain to me the scene
No.
back with the cops really fast? Can someone please explain that one scene, the one cop, the African American cop?
What's his name? Murray?
Dunham or Durham?
Dunham?
Something like that.
Durham?
I think so.
Durham?
I think so. Something like along
It
those
starts
lines.
with a D.
Okay.
You're right. Okay,
Are you
whatever.
talking about the burrito scene?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really don't understand the significance of that. Like, what
Well, it's
is
like
that supposed to be doing?
he's showing that how familiar they are with each other because they have known each other for a long time,
Right.
or so they say.
Yeah.
And I think that was for our benefit as audience members.
And he
Because
was
I
also,
did forget that, actually.
Yeah.
he was also talking about the fact that he knew somewhere down the line, he was like, I think that strings have been pulled. And it almost seems
Right.
like he came with the intention of being threatening, I think.
Really?
With a burrito?
Yeah, well, exactly. That was a peace offering, but at the end of the scene, she gave him back the burrito. She's like, I've lost my appetite.
Uh-huh.
Like, so he had this peace offering, and then he let her know that for some reason they didn't find enough evidence to get a warrant for the rub. And then she's like, well, where can I get that kind of power? He thinks that somebody's pulling strings for her, and he was pretty much saying, hey, you know what? I know something is going on here. Can't prove it yet, but I know something is going on here.
Okay, so you think that in the long term he's going to be a guy sniffing around.
Oh, yeah. He's a cop. Yeah, absolutely. Sniff, sniff,
What are you
sniff.
saying?
I'm saying that that's what cops do. They
All
sniff-
cops are corrupt?
No, I think
Yes, that's exactly what she's saying.
You heard it
you're
here
a
first,
cop
guys.
and you want to weigh in,
please rate and comment. Great. I'm going to get arrested on my way home, guys.
That would be the icing on the cake.
You want to know why I'm not here next week?
Yeah, exactly.
Because we won't post bail. I'm sorry.
And yeah,
Okay.
You wouldn't pay $7,500 for my bail?
No.
Oh, my.
F no.
Okay, let's talk about.
I'd be
the
like, I'll see you in a couple months at the hearing. Good luck in jail.
Okay, let's talk about
Okay.
the shady business,
What shady business?
the shady ending.
Are you talking about Evan?
Smells like soup.
It smells like deliciousness.
Popcorn. Are you guys talking about Evan coming back all beat up?
Yeah, so at the end of the episode.
This is why I don't trust him.
Okay, so at the end of the episode,
Yeah.
when she's driving to Brixton Farms, or whatever it's called, Brixton Ranch.
Bristol Farms.
Bristol. She's going to Bristol Farms, which is a
Kidding.
supermarket here in Los Angeles. Very fancy supermarket. Anyway, when she's driving to Brixton Ranch, she's in the car, and they totally set it up for a car accident. Like she was going to get into a car accident and get hurt.
You said that.
Yeah.
The way that they were shooting that car scene, you're
Just
like,
the way
somebody's
that
going to hit her.
was. Yeah, just because it was dark. And like it's like in every horror film, like or something like that. There's always a scene
Yeah.
where the woman is in the car, she's talking on her phone,
Not paying attention.
not
all of a
paying
sudden,
attention. Then all of a
jackknife.
sudden, there's a car accident.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, we saw it on Glee. We see it all the time.
I didn't think it made sense for a car accident. I know that they were setting up something, but I mean,
It
why would
did,
Riley get
though.
in a car accident?
It was. I feel like it was
Why
the way
is
that it
Mama
was.
in an accident?
Well, she's in an accident. They never said car accident.
I didn't say car accident either. I said
Yeah, you
accident.
did. No, you didn't.
I said accident.
Car accident.
Oh my God, I will punch you.
All right, so I think that I think ding ding ding. I think that what he was trying to say is that they were definitely setting up something that seedy was going on.
Right. That's
And
what I
then-
felt.
And then she buries the client list, and then she goes back, and then Evan shows up.
with a black eye and bloodied knuckles.
And at
he
first-
says that he punched a 2x4,
Which we know is not
which is
the
definitely
case.
not true. And he says, much to my surprise, it punched back.
Right. And well, at first, when I saw that he was injured, I was like, oh, she's maybe just seeing it from last week's fight,
But
which
it was
wasn't
like
the case.
fresh blood.
Right. And then she gets a call saying that.
No, the cop comes over.
Right. Sorry.
And says-
I forgot. She did get a call earlier, but it wasn't about that.
No.
Sorry.
The cop comes over and says that Mama's been in an accident.
Right.
It was like every single time, with the exception of the one financial, what was her name, Deanna? Every single time the doorbell rang, it was the cops.
It was the cops. And so the night before, Evan had missed the kids' show.
Right. He's a killer.
You were convinced that Evan beat the crap out of Mama.
I don't think that.
Okay,
like, I really
yes, you
can't
do.
see that happening.
But like, what reasoning would he have to want to beat her up?
Something happened, and maybe that's not tied in together. The accident and his injuries.
Right. I don't think they are.
But right, knowing the show, they're not.
They're
like
definitely
what
not.
you see is not usually what's happening.
Yeah.
So, especially at the end of the episode. But, however, I do think he's shady. Like
Okay.
in that way, like not in a I would kill Mama kind of way, but
He's definitely hiding something. I agree with you.
he's definitely hiding something, and he could be Kyle's accomplice. Who knows?
Maybe he's in a fight club.
Maybe.
It is Texas.
Possibly not.
Did we? I talked last episode about how I, for some reason, thought that he was Kyle's accomplice.
Yes, you did.
He could be.
And at this point,
They haven't caught. Oh,
The accomplice hasn't shown up yet, but the copper wire did get sold, and the Mexican guy did bring her the cash, which I thought was like.
who was this guy? Do we know this gentleman that came over and just handed her what looked like $100,000
In cash.
in cash, which she then gave
How did
to
you catch that?
I don't know, because I just
mean,
'cause
whoa,
they're all
counting
hundreds.
quickly.
And, yeah. It looked like $100,000 in cash, which she then turned around and gave to the ginger meatloaf, the guy that looked like
Yes,
ginger
the
meatloaf.
ginger meatloaf.
that would be
Oh
my
God.
term. I have to say. I have to
Yeah.
take credit for the
Oh,
ginger
it was
meatloaf.
hilarious.
You
was
said
very
that?
good.
I did not even hear you say that.
Aw.
That should be the title of our episode today.
Ginger
The
meatloaf.
ginger meatloaf.
This every week we'll have our what the title
Our own
should have
title.
been.
Yes. Yes.
that's true.
That's a good game. And this week's title should have been the ginger
Ginger
meatloaf.
meatloaf.
The ginger
He was
meatloaf.
very angry. He was not a happy guy.
Very angry. And he was a very close talker.
Yes. Yes.
Did that not bother you guys? Because when that happens in real life, you're sort of like, back up.
Yeah.
You're like, come on, you're in my personal space. You're like talking right at my mouth.
Well, you could tell
How
because
can I hear you?
the shot was so close. You could tell where his head was in reference to her head.
Right.
So you could tell that she was a lot shorter than him. So you can't mad dog back when somebody's talking to you like that when you're like a foot shorter than they are.
Well, yeah, I mean, she is like 5'2".
So yeah, she's little.
I wonder how that's all tied together. I really,
I mean, we'll get to it in predictions, but
yeah.
it was very interesting. It was very interesting.
How did that scene end? Because I was a little bit confused. It's pretty much because I thought that it ended. I'm going to take your money and do nothing for you.
That's exactly how it ended.
So why wouldn't you want your money back?
I know.
At that point?
I would have been like, well, give me the money back, you douche.
Yeah, because she said that she dipped into her savings, her life savings, her family
that
savings.
was the money that
That was to. bail.
money that came over.
Oh
Yeah.
wait,
That he
but
brought
so
over.
she has the money now for Kyle's.
No, she just gave it to She gave it to Ginger Meatloaf.
Yep.
That was the money that was made on the copper wire. She gave it
Right.
back to the guy who it technically belonged to.
That was not smart.
Well, she
Not
initially
smart at all.
wanted to give it to the cops. Remember?
Right. She wanted to give it to the cops, but she can't
And
because then
it
they're
would
gonna be like, where
implicate
did
him.
you get this money?
And she would be like, this guy just showed up at my door and.
Yeah.
And gave it to me. It was a
would be
gift.
Obvi.
Screw you.
It would be evidence.
I came into some money.
Yeah.
That's the one
Saving.
thing. That's the one thing that didn't kind of meld for me this
Yeah.
episode was the whole ginger meatloaf, and it's like if she's gonna hand him that kind of money, then what?
Giving this guy like
I
a
hope-
major
I know.
part in this whole thing.
I know. I hope he's back next week, so next week's episode should be the return of the Ginger Meatloaf.
We should have him on the show.
We should track his ass down.
Him, or if not, just at least his goatee.
But that was.
Okay. Let's get Meatloaf.
We'll dye his hair.
We'll dye his hair.
That was the most interesting thing to me, though. That whole
Ginger
meatloaf. Yes. No, but that whole thing at the very end, where
guy
Mom
has
has
a
been in an
gun.
accident,
Oh,
Lynette
yeah.
was in an accident, and the whole Evan being.
You were saying
Bloody.
earlier that you don't think that it necessarily has anything to do with one another.
No. That's just like the same thing.
It's like the misdirection, like they did last episode
Right.
with the "Hey, I'm so sorry. You think that you're going to get arrested? We're actually going to arrest Kyle."
Right, and that's
Right.
classic the client list. They want you to think, ooh, 2 accidents happen at the same time. Ooh, you know, like.
Right.
Obviously, Evan's probably not a killer, but they want you to think something shady is going on, and they're related in some way. and I don't think they are.
Okay, well, we'll get there.
Watch, because here's the thing, too. Well, I guess there was a cop. Okay, the cops in a small town, it doesn't necessarily mean that Lynette was in a serious accident. He didn't say she's in the hospital, nothing.
No.
She could have burned herself at the Curl Me Up and Dry, and that's
true.
an accident. So knowing the client list, like, that could very well be the case.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, when Kyle gets
true.
arrested and it's on every single channel in that town, maybe it is just like a small.
Yeah. It is a small town. Sometimes we forget that.
Right. So just because the cops show up at your door, which to me is like, oh my God, catastrophic news.
But they've shown up at her door 15 times this week.
They pretty much live there.
Yeah.
So.
They might as well, like, pay rent.
Yeah. Exactly.
On that note, we're going to jump to news and gossip.
Yeah.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Jennifer Love Hewitt wants to put her eggs on ice. The client list actress may have hit a TV show, but she has one thing missing in her life: kids. She's been reportedly worried that she'll end up single after her long list of failed relationships.
Her client list.
And thinks freezing her eggs is a good option. Jennifer Love Hewitt, 34, has been dating her co-star Brian Haddisay. Who is that? Is that Kyle?
Yes.
Who's also 34, since last spring. But it seems like the actress is not expecting the couple to start a family anytime soon. The busy actress has been asking around about freezing her eggs, according to a new report. She's been asking a few women she knows about freezing her eggs, a source revealed to Us Weekly. The source also claims that the actress feels worried that she will end up single since none of her relationships have been successful.
Aww.
Right?
Well, I think that's smart, though.
It is. I think it's very smart,
Instead of
They would
having
make beautiful babies together.
They would, but let's be honest, they've been dating since last spring. It's kind of too soon to be talking about babies with him.
Come on.
Yeah.
Right?
And I think it's very
think people
Hollywood to
should
have
stop
babies at like
pressuring.
mid-40s.
It is. It's like a thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
People need to stop. I think this is why her relationships don't work.
Yeah.
Because I feel like she feels pressure from
Right. She's like,
from
this
the
needs to be
outside
the one.
world. This needs to be the one. She's dated so many people, but like, let's be honest. Taylor Swift
Jeez,
has
Lord.
dated just as many people as Jennifer Love Hewitt has, and Taylor Swift's a lot younger.
Yeah.
And
Well,
it's been around a
she-
lot less time.
She needs her song inspirations, though. That's a
Right.
little
I mean,
different.
Taylor Swift is a big.
Yeah.
Well, and her relationships last like 5 minutes, and Jennifer Love
Exactly.
Hewitt's relationships last like
A
at
few
least
years.
a few years.
Yeah.
Which is,
I mean, whatever. She's thinking about her future. She wants to
Yeah.
have children. More power to you.
yeah.
I definitely think that it's just for material for her songs, Taylor Swift. Anyway, sorry.
I think
Emily.
Taylor Swift's just a big whore.
Oh, dear.
Jennifer has been wanting kids for a while. She said back in 2010 that she loves babies and she's obsessed with them.
Who isn't?
She said, quote, "I think you learn a lot from every breakup. It is so much more important that you love yourself rather than someone else. I've had breakups and they've been public, but I don't regret any of them. I adore them all. I've gotten very lucky."
Oh, that's very
sweet lady.
sweet.
So Jennifer Love Hewitt outsexes Mila Kunis and Olivia Wilde in Maxim Cover Girl contest.
Yeah, I got excited about this.
I know. Don't get us wrong.
She deserves it.
She does deserve it. We love Jennifer Love Hewitt. I did not write this. This is from. I'm just going to read it, whatever. "We love seeing her big, bouncy, clientless boobies prominently displayed on billboard and bus stops across America, but this news was entirely unexpected. Not to me, but to this guy who wrote it.
Yeah.
Beating out the likes of opulent Olivia Wilde, the marvelous Mila Kunis, and the jazzy, jovial, jazztastic
Jessica Alba?
Jessica Alba." This guy loves alliteration.
Yeah.
Voters just named Jennifer Love Hewitt the hottest gal to ever grace the cover of Maxim. I'm not reading the rest of this except what she said. She said, quote, "Oh my God, I'm so excited. I think it's really awesome. I'm such a big fan of the magazine. At 34, to be considered sexy is a big deal because you start to wonder. I promise to keep it sexy. I want another cover. I've done 4, and I think I've got a good 7 covers left."
Oh my.
I think she does, too.
Yeah, she's
I
got
mean,
the
she's
body for
definitely
it,
good.
for
She's
sure.
a beautiful, beautiful woman.
Yeah.
And after what we've seen of her on this show,
Yeah.
why the hell not? She looks
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It didn't,
And I don't
it
think
didn't
that
shock
like
me.
just because she's 34, she's not even that old.
No.
me a
34 is
break.
not old. Yeah.
She's very young still. and
what?
she could do like a lot of covers. I mean, how old was Cindy Crawford when she did Playboy?
Oh my gosh.
You know, she was like
Yeah.
in her 40s.
Yeah, a lot of women have done
Yeah.
stuff like that in their 40s.
I think Denise Richards did it.
Yeah.
It's
in
true.
her 40s,
Yeah.
right?
But I
Yeah,
also think
twice.
that leading ladies have a very, very short shelf life. And she's almost, I think only has a few more years left in her before she becomes like.
Do you
in
mean
that,
like ingenue type ladies.
Like leading ladies, like going from like the client list to like Law and Order. You know, it's
I
like,
disagree with you.
That's what I and that's okay. But I do feel like there's like leading ladies, and then there's like district attorneys, and then there's
District attorney.
I'm telling you, like
And then
corporate
you're
ladies.
Sybil Shepherd playing Mama on the client list.
Moms.
exactly.
I mean, I guess
And then
it is
Betty
like
White.
There
There's-
is like an age thing. I get it. But,
I don't
you know,
know, though.
she's
There's
always been
something-
producer on all her own shows, so I think she'll always play the leading lady in all her shows.
Well, and I was gonna say, like, there's something like, I mean, like, look at Terry Hatcher. To me, she's like smoking hot, and like,
Really? Terry Hatcher's face frightens the hell out of me.
really, I think she's like,
She scares the crap out of me.
I think she can still do sexy. Like, I mean, her body's amazing.
Terry Hatcher?
Yeah.
Terry Hatcher is a walking toothpick.
No, but
The woman is skin and bones
she's sexy.
with
to
a
me.
head.
Oh my.
I'm just
She's
putting it
sexy to
out.
me.
That woman is frightening.
She's sexy. To
She
me.
is the crypt keeper with hair.
She's
That was
Wow.
very mean.
That was really mean.
And I don't really mean that, but you know.
Next
kinda-
week, Terry Hatcher lady.
I know. I'm gonna get angry email from Terry Hatcher's people.
I'm gonna make sure they see this. Anyway,
I do love her. I think she's a fantastic actress.
Okay.
She is, and anybody who has
Very
the balls to be naked in a bush on the first season of Desperate Housewives
Yeah,
when she's in
I
her
agree.
40s.
Yeah.
That
and she looked hot.
that takes a
She looked hot then. She recently did a guest spot on a television show where her face scared the crap out of me. Okay.
Oh dear.
whatever.
Oh my. Are we?
I'm just putting that out there.
is
She's
there any
had
more-
a little too much work done.
Is there any more news and gossip?
That is your AfterBuzz TV news and gossip for
Do we have-
March 7th, 18th,
18th.
2013. I'm like, what freaking day is it?
Do we have?
Let's jump
predictions?
into predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
So we watched it on Hulu, so we did not get to see
Any preview?
any previews for next week. So what do we think is happening?
I kind of like when we don't get to see.
I kind of like when we don't get to see also, because it leaves it a little bit more open for predictions.
I think Kyle's getting out of jail. I'm gonna throw that out there.
next week.
Yep.
I don't think yet. Okay.
Okay.
I don't think
that's
he's.
one of mine.
I think he's getting out of jail in episode 5.
I think Mama burned herself. Lynette burned herself at the
Curl Up and Dry.
Curl Up and Dry.
I'm gonna predict that Jennifer Love Hewitt gets a freaking haircut.
Oh, you mean just takes out her hair extensions?
That's never happening.
That's never gonna happen. But I just wish they weren't so freaking long. They're driving me crazy. They're down to her waist now.
I think it looks hot.
It's a little
It
too
looks
long.
really sexy when she wears the strapless corsets, and all you see is her hair with her shoulders. I think it's a good look for her.
I think her hair's too long.
Okay.
Period.
I'm writing a letter
All right.
to her people, and I'm gonna let them know that her hair is just like a couple inches too long. It can still be long, but it needs to be
She's picky.
like breast area. I think is like
similar-
yours, like your length.
similar
I
to mine.
like
You can't see,
anything
but
past that, it starts to get weird.
yeah.
Like when what's her face had hair that long, it looked terrible.
Yeah.
Jennifer Aniston,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
back when she did Rockstar.
What else?
Do you have
That's
any?
unimportant.
Do you have any more predictions?
What do you think's gonna happen with Evan, and what do you think his situation?
His situation is, I think he
she's
got
gonna
into a
let
bar
that
fight.
go?
I think he got into a bar fight.
With who? Why?
I don't know. I don't know why he would.
No.
I don't know.
You know what I think they're gonna do? I think they're just gonna. This is my prediction.
They're gonna brush it under.
They're just gonna brush it under because Lynette has been in an accident,
Mm-hmm.
whether it be small or big. But she's gonna be worried about that and not even think about the fact that
Okay.
So
he practically killed someone or whatever.
So I think that Mama Lynette is going to be in the hospital
I think she's gonna be in the hospital too. I think she's
for
like
a while. So now somebody kind of has to take over at the
Curl Up and
Dry, which is going to be, oh my gosh,
Lexi.
yeah, she was BFF.
Lacey, her name is
yes,
Lacey.
Oh, Lacey. Who's Lexi?
Yeah. So she's going to have to
show.
kind of take over at the Curl Up and Dry. But it's going to be, you still won't know. You just know that she's in the hospital and she has like no memory of what happened.
See, I don't think it's gonna be a serious accident.
I
at
think
all.
it's gonna be more serious, and I think she's gonna have had like a mild heart attack or like a stroke or something, and she's got to move in with what's her face,
I feel like she already lives there anyway.
with Riley.
Oh, yeah, I feel like she already lives there too.
She definitely does
Like
not
she
live there,
doesn't?
but I think she's going to have to now.
Huh. What? Okay. All right.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I
put
do
that
think
out there.
Kyle's gonna get out of jail.
Yeah, I do too.
And
I'm
it's-
bored of him being in there, so.
Yeah.
Really?
And plus, it must be depressing to not be able to do scenes with like any of your like.
Co-stars?
Yeah.
He was on, I mean,
Well, they were together.
he got season 1, episode 1. He got some scenes with them. And he got
He got a scene.
season 2, episode 1. He got some scenes with them. So, I mean, he's on a roll.
Yeah.
At least his character's on episode 2.
He had a couple of scenes
Okay.
in the jail cell by himself, though, like pacing
Yeah.
and.
Looking sexy.
He's looking good, and he's actually on the show this season a lot. So
Right.
there's that.
Like it.
He should be happy to have a job.
I'm excited though. I'm excited. I think there's gonna be more new girls. At the
Another
Rub.
new girl? I think that they might introduce like
An episode.
an episode.
You know, I don't understand
They have
why
to
they
replace
don't.
3 characters.
I don't understand why they don't use this opportunity to bring in fun guest stars.
That's
Right?
what I'm saying.
Like some
Yeah.
funky
And they
fun,
might.
you know, a little bit of, you know, I'm not saying like Lindsay Lohan or anything, but get some funky,
That would be
Funky.
awesome.
exactly, get some
Amazing.
funky fun guest stars in and just have
Like,
them
who
in
would
for
you
like
like
a
to
few
see?
episodes.
Who would you like to see? Because Lindsay Lohan is the top of my
Terry
list.
Hatcher is one of mine.
Okay, Terry Hatcher. I'll put that out there. I could
What about
totally
like
see that.
Jennifer? She just won the Oscar.
Garner?
No.
What?
Jennifer
J-Law?
Lawrence?
Yes,
No.
Jennifer Lawrence.
I don't think she would do TV.
Yeah, she wouldn't.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I don't think she would.
Little
No.
Jennifer
Sadly.
Lawrence, or somebody a little bit campier. I got to think about this one. I'll give you guys some
Like
more.
an,
Like a Leah
like a-
Michelle?
yeah.
or
or like
like-
an Emma Stone type. Not Emma
or
Stone.
like
a,
or the chick that used to be on Baywatch that's like really old now. What's
Pamela
her name?
Anderson?
Yes, Pamela Anderson. Could you
Oh,
see
I
that?
love
fun.
Pam. I
Yeah,
love
that would be
Pam.
That would
fun.
be actually really funny.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think that would be a funny
Well,
scene.
she'd be like the hottest chick alive at the Rub.
She would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be.
and then her and
Selena?
Selena
Selena.
could really get into it and have a girl fight. Oh, this would
That'd
be
be
I
fun.
would
Ooh, we are
love-
writing things for you. Are you guys
I
paying
am.
attention out there? Are you paying attention?
Let's
Yeah.
do this.
No, that would be really fun.
nice. I'm just gonna
Right.
write up some sides and send it to him and be like, "You're welcome."
Yeah.
Just send it to Pamela Anderson's people and be
She's
like,
a blonde. She's a busty blonde. and
your
they don't have
audition
one.
is this week. Here are your sides. And then she'll just show up to set
Yep, there you are.
and be like, I'm here for my audition. They'll be like, what are you talking about?
Love it.
And she'll be like, I'm
Oh my God! What about like Marissa Tomei? Is that like too fantasy?
My biological clock is ticking like this.
Fancy. Marissa Tomei?
Yeah.
No, I don't think she would do that.
Too much fantasy.
think that would work.
Marissa Tomei is a good
You don't?
chameleon actress,
Yes, she is.
so she can fit into a lot of different roles.
Yeah. Well, if you guys out
Yeah.
there have any
you-
wish lists
Yeah.
of actresses or actors that you'd like to see guest star this season, comment and let us know, and we'll read them off next week.
Absolutely.
From everyone here at the AfterBuzz TV studios, myself and the lovely ladies across the table from me,
Bye.
have a wonderful night, and we'll see you next week.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.